Okay, so this is Ray, and Ray, how long have you been coming to the office now?
For almost 2 months.
Okay, about 2 months. All
Yeah.
right. And what initially brought you into the office? What made you want to come into our office? Or
A lot of extremely bad pain. It was actually widespread chronic between my nerves and my muscles and bones. It actually started about 3 years ago. Well, I guess it started much longer than that, but slowly it kind of deteriorated everything between ATVs and car accidents and everything like that. Slowly over the years, I kind of paralyzed myself, so to speak. Well, I ended up going to my pain specialist because I have an autoimmune disorder. Thought maybe it has something to do with that. And I went to my doctors in Akron that I normally go to. They sent me to neurologists, rheumatologists, every doctor under the sun, you name it, and everything came back negative. So they started me on a lot of pain medication about 3 years ago. Everything from fentanyl to morphine to methadone to Lyrica, and things would kind of help, but then everything just continuously got worse. So much to the point that I actually could not even interact with my kids. If they touched me, I broke down bawling. Anything with my wife, she couldn't even hug me, touch me, walk by me, hit me with a piece of paper. Even my job at work became ridiculous to the point I would sit for 2 hours out of my 8-hour day. If I wasn't established prior to that, I'm sure I would have been fired.
right.
So they kind of worked around that. It ended up getting to the point that the medication literally didn't work at all, especially with the cold weather and everything going to the worst. And I've always been active. I love working on automobiles. I actually had to give up my ATV, sold it to buy a motorcycle, which I thought would be better, and then ended up in an accident and broke my back and my ankle, which obviously made things 100 times worse.
Right.
After that, I didn't go through therapy for whatever reason. They did not recommend it. They just basically kind of cleared me, and I think it's because of all the narcotics I was basically on. They literally assumed, well, he probably can't feel anything, which they were very wrong. I could feel everything for every minute. As soon as I woke up, I was literally in tears. My wife had actually got bad enough that she physically, and I couldn't make this up if I wanted to, she had to roll me out of bed every morning for the last year in order just to get me upstairs, help me get in the shower, help me tie my boots, even at times help me put my pants on. And you want to talk about feeling worthless being 29 years old.
Yeah.
So, after dealing with that for the last 2.5 years, we, kind of looked into different things, and after everything came back negative, my wife was like, seriously, you need to just try a chiropractor. So I'm like, alright, we wanted to a long time ago, but the insurance didn't cover it. And in all honesty, I really wish I would have just done it much sooner, because it would have been a heck of a lot cheaper than paying $120 a month in narcotics.
Wow.
And having my stomach so knotted up that I would have to go to the ER because of the extreme pain, where they would give me stuff to help unknot it, but then they'd have to give me a narcotic because my pain was so bad that I'd be doubled over bawling and I couldn't even physically walk into the ER.
Wow.
So, thankfully, I ended up here, and obviously ended up getting scanned and had 4 sections of my body that had pinched nerves and was completely out of whack. And somehow the neurologist, my spine specialist that treated me when I had my broken back, and everybody else, even the rheumatologists and all of them, missed everything and said I was completely normal and I should be as healthy as a horse.
Wow.
But all of them looked at me and could see my physical pain and agreed that I was in tremendous amounts of pain, and all agreed to all the medication I was on was valid, but clearly was not working.
Right. So, I mean, to that point, from 3 years ago until now, you were basically held prisoner by your pain. You weren't able to do or live life the way you wanted to. It
Not
affected
at
your
all.
affected family, relationship with your wife. It affected your job, your performance there, even spending time with your kids. So you weren't living life the way you wanted to, and certainly not how you envisioned it being at 26, 27, 28, 29 years old.
No, not at all.
So how have things changed since you started coming here 2 months ago?
In all honesty, even in the first 2 visits, which I know it sounds kind of abnormal or like some extraordinary event, you know. But in all honesty, even in the two events, I was able to see a huge difference just in my nerve endings. Like it didn't become so pinched to where I was breaking down, bawling. And then even in up to now, in 2 months, I'm off of 95% of the medication. Literally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, tell me about it. Considering methadone is like synthetic heroin.
Right.
You know, and I hate that. And I've talked to those pain specialists several times, and they basically shrug. And that was our last meeting, and that was another reason why I got pushed into finding another alternative. Because about 6 months ago, they basically shrugged and said, there's nothing we can do for you. You're going to be on this medication for the rest of your life. You're just basically going to continue to get worse, and we're going to keep increasing it, even though you're on the maximum dosage allowed, which it really was a lot. $120 worth of narcotics. I'm sure if anybody's on them, you know it's a lot of medication.
Mm-hmm.
So to be off of 95% of it is amazing, and I really hold out that I can get off the last 5%. It's been difficult, that I'm not gonna lie, but literally within 3 weeks, I was already off of probably a good 50 to 60% of it. As soon as it was even 2 weeks into it, I was texting my wife, and I'm like, you're never gonna believe this. And she's like, what? I'm like, I haven't even taken like a morphine today. And she's like, are you serious? When I'm supposed to take 6 of them in a day.
Wow.
And I'm like, no joke. And I haven't even taken like methadone at all week. She's like, holy crap, are you kidding me? So, you know, it was a huge improvement.
Yeah.
You know, and even the kids are excited. And then I started breaking down crying because the one day our oldest looked at me and was like, you know what? I think it's going to be awesome that you're going to be able to play with us this year. She's like, I bet you're even going to be able to run and jump and stuff. And I was like, I know, I can't believe it. Like, and you know, we went and bought a trampoline because, you know, I can actually move and interact with them. And last year, you know, you go back, being on all of that medication, I would play soccer with them for maybe 5 minutes, and then I would have to literally sit myself out like I was a little kid and take a timeout and sit on the bench and basically writhe in pain. And it would be so obvious that the kids would literally just stop playing because they wouldn't want to do anything because they felt bad that I was in pain, you know. And our oldest and even our middle one became so much important in the fact of I needed so much help, they literally knew how to take care of me. And you know how crappy that makes you feel that your 5-year-old and your 3-year-old literally know how to walk you as a 29-year-old, holding your hand, helping you open doors, opening bottles. I mean, it got to that point that I couldn't even open bottles. If there was pop in the refrigerator, my wife would have to open it before she left for work. And actually, my wife even had to quit her school and her job in order to take care of me. It got that bad, you know, and I'm very, very opposite of that. I've always been active and very independent, you know, to the point that I would never ask for help. I'd pretty much be disabled and literally crippled and paralyzed, quadriplegic, so to speak, before I would ever ask for help. And it got bad enough that I had to ask for help almost every 10 seconds. And, I mean, it was to the point I didn't even want to live life anymore.
Wow. I mean, this is one of the more powerful testimonies that I've done here, and knowing you from, I mean, we rode school bus together, you know, I mean, it's awesome to see how your life has been changed from the stuff that you've gone through to now getting off the medications to actually getting able to enjoy your family, your wife, and your kids, and being able to do things that you love again. So overall, you would definitely say that this has changed your life drastically, hasn't it?
Yeah. There is no way, I mean, I would ever stop coming, you know, no matter what, we will always find a way. And to anybody that's thinking about it, I strongly recommend it, even if you don't have a financial ability, because we're not rich by any means, so we kind of like move and shift things around. But if to anybody that you have to do that, I would strongly recommend trying your best to find a way somehow to, you know, get the proper help. And that is the exact way that I look at it. This is the proper help that I needed, you know, 3.5 years ago when things truly started. Because when it originally started, before I even took medication, I was calling off work because we have this ramp and it's only about 20 feet at a 10% incline. I couldn't walk up that at all. You know, people were literally kind of like helping me, you know, and they felt bad and they'd walk around me, you know, and you know how people feel sorry for you, but they don't say anything. And I could feel people staring at me. It got so bad that I would always look down at the ground and never acknowledge anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would never ever trade this in a million years, you know, for everything that I've went through, all the doctors.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, you said earlier that you wish this is something you would have done 3 years ago, and
I
it would
do.
have saved you money and the medication costs. It would have, you would have been investing in your health. You would have been at this point, or way better now than you were then.
Yeah,
So
100% the quality of life is better, you know. Even if somebody's on narcotics in general and they make you feel better, you know, you deal with a lot of side effects. You start feeling like just junk and trash, you know, and you can tell when you're on it and off of it. And my energy is basically like back when I was on the school bus, and that's an awesome thing. Like, I'm just like bouncing around. I mean, me and my wife met 6 years ago, and if you really think back, you know, when she met me, things were kind of starting to go in that direction already. And me and her were talking, and you know, a couple times, and I'm like, seriously, I always used to be like a ping pong ball all over the place, just pow, 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 you know, like the kids are. And she just looks at me, she's like, I don't know, I don't really see it. She's like, as long as I've known you, you've never really been that way. She's like, you're extremely active, but you're just kind of consistently active.
yeah,
And stuff. And now that I'm off of it, she's like, that's crazy. She's
Yeah.
like, I can't believe you ever used to be like this, you know?
so you're full of surprises for her now.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's like, this is nuts. She don't know how to handle it half the time anymore now, but I'm glad, you know.
Yeah.
So
So that's a changed life right there.
yeah,
Would you recommend complete chiropractic to others?
yeah, in a heartbeat.
Awesome.
You know,
Can we share this message with others so that they can see how your life has been changed and how we can help them?
absolutely. You know, I really think that if anybody gives it a true try, you know, it'll help you. Maybe it won't be as grand and significant as me, but I really truly believe that if you give it your all and you do what they ask you to do, it'll really help you sincerely.
Great. Well, Ray, thank you so much for sharing. It's an awesome testimony. It's a changed life. We're really happy for you, man.
Yeah, me too.